want people to see the things that I was really struggling with, the things that was going on inside. And I want to share a quick story with you guys. It's something in high school that I tried to cover up. So 16, I was a junior in high school. I didn't have a car yet, and I was working for a local law firm. And my dad was best friends with this guy who's a lawyer. And so I would ride my bike from the high school to the law office, and I would do, random stuff like stamp papers and file things. But then the best part of my job was I would get to ride my bike to the courthouse. And I would go to the courthouse, and every day I would get to the elevator, and I would push number 3, and I would ride up to the top, and I'd walk around the corner, and I'd go into this office, the clerk's office, and the clerk's there. They would take my papers, and they got to know me pretty well. And so, we would chit-chat a little bit, but they would just, stamp 2 copies, give me 1 back, and then I'd go back. But it was great because it broke up my day. But every day that I got in the elevator, there was this big red button staring me in the face. Okay. And it said, stop. And every day I thought to myself, man, I wonder what would happen if I pulled that button. And so, about 8 months goes by, I'm working at this law office, and finally I decide, okay, I'm going to work up enough courage. Today is the day. I'm going to pull the stop button. We're going to see what happens. So I walk up, I lock up my bike, I walk in, make sure that nobody's around, I get in the elevator, and I press number 3, and as we're going up, all of a sudden I just pull the stop. Guess what happens? It stopped! And then it goes like this. Woo, 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 woo. And the doors fling open, and I'm like, the floor is right here, and I'm down below, and I freak out. And I didn't think that, maybe I could just push the button back in. So I bolted. I hopped up out of the elevator, I ran around the corner, and I go into the clerk's office like nothing had happened. So the clerks, they take my papers, and they start to stamp them, and then it's like, hey, you guys hear that? And then the woo-woo starts getting louder and louder, and the clerks start freaking out. And all of a sudden, they evacuated the entire courthouse. Court was in session, criminals are handcuffed, and they're evacuating everybody. It gets better. Now, I'm freaked, okay? But 24 hours goes by. Next day, I show up to the courthouse. Doors are locked. And I couldn't get in through the front, and I thought, well, that's weird, but I kind of know a way to sneak around, so I snuck around to the back side of the courthouse. And I walk in, and this guy's like, hey, what are you doing here? And I said, oh, no, it's no big deal. I'm just here to stamp, my stuff for the courthouse. And he said, no, you can't be here. There was a bomb threat here today. Oh, that's crazy. So I just leave, I go home. Okay, Wednesday morning, I wake up. Wednesday morning, read the paper. This is what it says, Visalia Times Delta. Bomb threat scares local courthouse. And then, here's the best part. We think there's a correlation between the evacuation the day before and the bomb threat yesterday. I literally almost crapped my pants. I was so scared. So here's what I did. I did what any normal 16-year-old would do, and I burned the clothes I was wearing and I bleached my hair. See, for me, I would go to any length to hide what I had done. Even though I knew that I was innocent, whatever, push the button, pull the button, no big deal. Even though, I knew there was no correlation, I was so afraid of what other people might think about me. And I wonder if in this room, maybe the same is true for you. Maybe for some of you, there are things going on that you wouldn't want anybody to know. That you would do your best to hide, that you would do whatever you could to disguise it. Maybe that's not you, that was me. There were so many things going on in my life that I never wanted anybody to know about because I was afraid of what others would think. But you know what? If you guys have been coming to Young Life for this entire year, I know you've been talking about this guy named Jesus. And I know there is one thing I know for certain, and it's this. There is nothing, hear me when I say this, there is nothing in your life that can scare Jesus.